Part 3, Lullaby. Lullabies, Billy Joel tells us, go on and on, they never die. I invite you to reflect on the place of lullabies in your life, either as a child or as a parent. I can't recall my mother ever singing me a lullaby, but when I was a child, my parents would lead me and my younger sister in singing a prayer every night before we went to sleep. When I became a father at age 48, I composed a lullaby for my daughter that I sang to her when I was on duty to give her a late-night bottle. In the absence of a biblical record on the subject, poets over the ages have imagined what Mary might have sung. Invariably, the poet assigns Mary a prescient awareness of her baby's future. I ask you to consider the rhythm of a lullaby. Consider the Brahms lullaby, for example. The left hand plays a hypnotic repeated pattern. The rhythmic pattern in the right hand suggests the ebb and flow of a cradle rocking, or perhaps a gondola being propelled. The vocal line has its own rhythm of 2/8 followed by a quarter, the rhythm of the word lullaby in English, or Guten Abend, Gute Nacht in German. This rocking movement. So I'm going to ask you to keep in mind the rhythm of each of the lullaby poems that you hear. In William Ballott's lute book Lullaby, we hear the word lullaby emerging onomatopoeically from the repeated L sounds of the mother's lulling refrain to the baby, whose name Jesus has been foreordained. In the second stanza, Mary uses the old word vouchsafed, a term of graceful condescension, identifying as Jesus as a Savior to visit us that were forlorn. Geoffrey Shaw's setting of the text adds a lilting, lully, melodic motif, evocative of a cradle rocking. Sweet was the song the virgin sang when she to Bethlehem, Judah came, and was delivered of a son, that blessed Jesus hath to name. Lula, 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 lullaby. Lula, 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 lullaby. Sweet babe, sang she, my son, and eke a Savior born, who hast vouchsafed from on high to visit us that were forlorn. Lula, lula, lullaby. Sweet babe, sang she, and rocked him sweetly on her knee. In George Wither's rocking hymn, another mother, not Mary, comforts her baby, employing a lullaby as an incantation to sleep. What ails my darling thus to cry? Be still, my child, and lend thine ear, and hear me sing thy lullaby. This mother compares the outward ease of her child with the situation of the baby Jesus. By him such dressings were not worn, nor such swaddling clothes as these. Ralph Vaughan Williams' setting of the text establishes a gentle rocking rhythm in 3/4 time. The slow tempo and lilting rhythm of long, short notes maintains an air of perfect calm. The voice sings, "Sweet baby, sleep, what ails my dear," that rhythm, lulling rhythm. The 20th century poet Janet Lewis considers the power of maternal love, telling her baby that, "I could not love thee more if thou wert Christ the King." Lewis wonders whether Mary knew that within her womb should sleep and grow the Lord of everything. In Lewis's version, Gabriel tells Mary, "That which doth stir like summer in thy side shall save the world from sin, so that stable hall and inn shall cherish Christmas tide." But maternal love knows no bounds. Did she love him more because an angel came to prophesy his name? Ah, no, not so. She could not have loved him more, but loved him just the same. Luli, lule. And the woman singing her lullaby loves her baby no less. The setting you will hear uses the rhythmic pattern of short, long to set luli, lule, as we've observed in other carols. Luli, lule, I could not love thee more if thou wast Christ the King. Now tell me, how did Mary know that in her womb should sleep and grow the Lord of everything? Luli, lule, an angel stood with her who said, "That which doth stir like summer in thy side shall save the world from sin. Then stable, hall, and inn shall cherish Christmas tide." Luli, lule, and so it was that day. And did she love him more because an angel came to prophesy his name? Ah, no, not so. She could not love him more, but loved him just the same. Luli, lule. Lule, my liking, portrays the same situation, with a mother in the 15th century evoking the biblical scene. I saw a fair maiden sitten and sing. She lulled a little child, sweet lording. The angel Gabriel does not appear in this account, but heavenly songsters make mickle mirth, mickle being an archaic word for much. Angels bright they sang that night and said unto the child, "Blessed be thou, and so be she that is so meek and mild." Gustav Holst's refrain creates a hypnotic, repetitive motive in 3/4 time to maintain the lilting effect of the lullaby. Lule, my liking, my dear song, my sweeting, that constant 3/4 rhythm. Lule, my liking, my dear song, my sweeting, lule, my dear heart, mine own dear darling. I saw a maiden sitten and sing. She luled a little child, as sweet a lording. That eternal Lord is he that made alla thing. Of alla Lord as he is Lord, of every king he's king. There was mickle melody at that child's birth. Though the songsters were heavenly, they made a mickle mirth. Angels bright they sang that night and said unto the child, "Blessed be thou, and so be she that is so meek and mild." Pray we now to that child as to his mother dear. God grant them all his blessing that now mock and cheer. Lule, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lule, my dear heart, mine own dear darling. Think of these lullabies during your meditative walk, considering how you might have comforted the infant Jesus, or how you have come to view that scene in the stable as a result of the music we've listened to this morning.
melody.
Lully, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lully, my dear heart, my own dear darling.
That eternal Lord is he that made alle thing. Of alle Lord as he is Lord, of every king he's king.
Lully, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lully, my dear heart, my own dear darling.
There was mickle melody at the child's birth, though the songsters were heavenly, they made a mickle mirth.
Lully, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lully, my dear heart, my own dear darling. Angels bright they sang that night and said unto that child, Blessed be thou, and so be she that is so meek and mild. Lully, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lully, my dear heart, my own dear darling.
Hail we now to that child, and to his mother dear. God grant us all his blessing, that now more can cheer.
Lully, my liking, my dear son, my sweeting. Lully, my dear heart, my own dear darling.
Thank you, Art, for your wonderful reflections this morning. We now have a quiet time. Following that, at 11:45, we have Holy Eucharist in the church. So please have your reflection time and then walk over to the church for a communion, Holy Eucharist. And thank you again. It was wonderful. Thank you all.